Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. We made it to Friday. It is Friday, May 2nd. And talking about a question from the dear Randy Tobias today. Randy, a longtime member of the audience and regular commenter here on the YouTube platform. Appreciate you. Randy, he's got a question about recently retired Steelers safety Ryan Watts. Watts decided to medically retire after the neck injury that he suffered during the preseason last year. A real tragic situation. Obviously, been thinking about Ryan a lot lately. Really hope that he's keeping his chin up, and I know that he's going to attack whatever comes next with the same ferocity that he attacked football. And hoping for all the best for him. Randy asks, do players have some sort of injury insurance? I assume that if Ryan Watts had any guaranteed money, he would still get that despite incurring his career-ending injury. Do teams pay that normally, or does it come out of some sort of injury insurance the team might have on a player? Are there injury payouts for players that are not part of any guaranteed money they may have had due to a kind of like severance package? A very in-depth question from Randy and a good topic here for a morning rush. So there are actually several answers to this question. We'll go with what I know of the facts of Ryan's situation first, and then we'll get into some of the others. So Ryan Watts was on a rookie contract. Rookie contracts are not guaranteed. So he got paid a signing bonus in 2024. That was guaranteed. That was up front. All the rest of his salary is not guaranteed as a sixth-round pick. Some of the earlier round picks have more guaranteed money. But as far as I can tell, no guarantees on that. And if there were guarantees, they would have been paid out last year anyway. He will likely earn a portion of his salary going forward. There is something called an injury protection benefit, where if you are hurt, you are released by your team, and you are unable to play football for that team or for another team, you can file with the union to recollect your salary. And I think it's up to I think it's like 2.1 million or something like that, which is way more than Watts was going to make in 2025. And in fact, he will be able to continue to collect that going forward through I believe through the end of his rookie contract, which would have been 3 more years. As long as he continues to file and there's a process and there'll have to be approval and things of that nature. But from what I can tell, the situation, he's likely to be accepted into that program to be able to continue to receive his salary. The Steelers will be on the hook for that money. There is a cap to how much of it counts against the salary cap. I think it's the full amount in the first year and then $500,000 a year after that. Now, his contract has an injury split on it, as most rookie contracts do. So he didn't earn his full salary last year when he was on the injured reserve. And I don't know exactly how they go about calculating that injury split into this injury protection benefit calculus. But basically, he's still going to get paid by the Steelers, something approaching what he would have gotten paid had he just stayed on the team on the injured reserve for the next 3 seasons. This way, the Steelers don't have to use a 90-man roster spot on him during the offseason. They release him. He's still going to get paid, and the Steelers can use that roster spot on another player right now. Otherwise, he would have to stay on the 90-man roster. He wouldn't count against the 53. He would go on injured reserve every year, but injured reserve still counts against the 90-man offseason roster. So that's why the Steelers released him, and to give them that flexibility there. So you have that's part of the facts. Now, let's talk about some of the other pieces of this question and some speculation about other situations. If a player has guaranteed money on their contract, that guaranteed money has to be paid, and it has to be paid if the player is released in a lump sum. So if Ryan Watts had guaranteed money, I think it's more likely that the team would have kept him on the roster, eaten that roster spot, to just pay him out over the years. That they would have. They could also have released him. You kind of do it either way. But so let's say he had 2 years remaining on his contract with $10 million in guaranteed money each year. Well, if you keep him on the roster, it's a $10 million cap hit this year, $10 million cap hit next year. If you release him, all the guaranteed money then becomes due that year, or if you release him after June 1st, over that year and the next year. So Um, yeah, most of the time, if a player has guaranteed money like that, they're going to stick around and they'll figure out a way to use that roster spot, put them on the IR, pay them that way. Players can also buy their own injury insurance on their contracts, like AFLAC, basically for NFL players. And that insurance can cover things that are not covered if a player has an injury. I don't know if Ryan Watts had that kind of injury coverage. It's available through the union. You can also do it on their own. Um, but that is like, you know, to help with their lack of ability to do things outside of football, basically. So yeah, that's teams can also insure player contracts for themselves. So like if the Steelers sign Aaron Rodgers, $10 million contract, they may take out an insurance policy that says, hey, if he gets hurt and plays less than 2 games, we're going to collect, because we're concerned about him tearing his Achilles again, whatever. But that would go back to the team, not to the player. And the final question, part of this question here is, that's so the team can insure the player can insure the player. Oh, a severance package. So yeah, there isn't really players can file a traditional workers' comp claim, but usually through this other process, these things get taken care of. That's a pretty rare occurrence, but it is sort of a last ditch effort to have a player be compensated after a major injury. That is possible as well. Usually it doesn't come to that, but it is within the sort of framework. And in fact, it sort of lays it out that this payment, this injury protection benefit, fulfills the sort of financial obligation for workers' compensation law. So, like, you can't double dip, right? It would have to be one or the other. For some reason, they're not eligible for this program, one way or the other. So, and then, not part of this question, but I feel like I'll add to it. Uh, the Steelers are still on the hook for all costs associated with treatment for this injury. So if Ryan Watts is traveling to Pittsburgh every 6 months to meet with a neurologist, that's still part of this injury benefit protection package. And so I don't know what his prognosis is, what his treatment is. Obviously, he's been walking around and participating in athletic activities since the injury. Now, I haven't seen him since his surgery in January, so I can't speak to that. But it's not like Ryan Shazier's situation, right, where you're talking about like physical therapy just to be able to walk. He certainly was doing that, and we'll see what he's able to do going forward. But the Steelers have had this process play out before. Keanu Neal was a bizarre injury. I don't really know actually the real details of what happened there, but he got hurt in the middle of his last season with the Steelers. He was released the following spring with that same failed physical designation that Ryan Watts was, and he filed for this injury protection benefit and was awarded a certain amount of money. I think it was actually the full non-guaranteed portion of his salary for the remaining year. So this is a process, but the players are somewhat protected for injury. But obviously, you spend a good part of your adolescence and your college thinking this is going to be your career, and not only that, but financially going to have to support you for a long life after your playing career, and have it taken away at a young age is it's terrible. And you feel for Ryan. Certainly, we've been thinking of him. I reached out to him the other day just to send a message, let him know we're thinking of him. But tough stuff there. But there is some protection. So assuming he does qualify for this program, which I think he should, he will still be able to earn his salary for the next couple of seasons till he figures out what is happening next. All right, that's all I got for today. More with the afternoon drive around 6. We'll see if DB is going to join the show this week. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, enjoy.